dum 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 dum.
First of all, if you're not listening to my show, you maybe want to start right now. Skip to 244. How's my commentary different from the others? I don't say no to stupid shit. Reference Mod Bro Shaco. Got you scratching your head. I'm Derek Toplane. Got you ready to dance. I'm AD Blitzcrank. I'm known for losing. All facts here, and they'll keep on pushing the lanes. Rito! Give me the buffs. I'll show 'em who's boss, and I got 3 men in mid, 3 fakos. I'm Alistair Urgot, and I'm Sion, and we got Olaf support. Just follow us, okay? Mimic my movements, please learn from them. A higher ego and respect you can earn from having fun, eliminate the sadness. I'm Victor Predley. Welcome to my half-hour show. Only not in half-hour editions. Welcome everybody to the Gucko Pics podcast, yet to be properly named, unless we keep it that way. I am Victor Predley, the one and only, the most phantasmic owner of all of Gucko Pics Productions, and with me is most of the Gucko Pics Productions crew, short of Scott Ranconius. I have put a little thingy in there for him, but if he shows up, I don't know, we'll just slot him in, I guess, and that will totally just fuck up all the camera work I spent 20 minutes doing. But anyway, let's introduce everyone. Above me is Mr. Tribal Mind himself. Say hello, Tribal.
Hola, peoples.
Alright, so he's going to be on this show. In this direction, a little bit tilted. He's kind of in the middle, not really above me. You know, if I go diagonal, I'll get there. But it's the ever handsome Mr. Modbro.
Hi.
And and then the Lord of the YouTube channel, I guess, is what we're calling him because he's the only one really uploading to YouTube. Is Mr. BMG Beaumcilroy.
Oh, I thought you were going to call me Dumbo, and I was going to be like, hey, what'd you call me?
Today he is represented by a giant elephant that I was going to say Elipus.
I am an Elipus.
An elephant
Yes,
fly.
I agree.
And I've seen a house fly.
Yes, so that is the crew. Normally we'll have Scott, and I'll probably put him there, but he's not in. He's probably just got no internets, even though he said he'd be here. I sent him a text. If he comes, I'll just slot him in. Whatever. I don't care. Mm-hmm. It's very casual, this podcast. I presume everyone has a drink?
Yeah, I got a drink.
Beverages.
In a very kiddie cup because,
Kitty cup. Modbro has a Corona. Yeah, okay.
Very childish.
I have the holy water.
Yeah, mine's just water too.
Yeah, mine's just water.
Yeah. Yeah, all us...
I've just got to get something out of my system. So I got Well, I think I've seen about everything when I see an elephant fly. Okay, go for it.
Cool.
Right.
And I also have...
Saw the Dumbo picture.
I also have an entire pizza. Because, hunger and stuff. So,
What's that white stuff on the pizza?
Come. So, here we are.
Fair enough.
In the podcast. Oops, sorry about that.
Didn't think you got that excited about pizza, jeez.
I do get pretty excited about pizza. So, I can't do anything with the computer. If I move anything like this, whoa, that's going to fuck up with the video. So that'll come out on the video, seeing me move shit all around. So anything I do, I'll have to do from my phone, which means I cannot see the document, which means, Trouble, you're going to have to carry the moving of the topics. So,
Huzzah!
welcome, everybody. This is the... It's a replacement show for Tribal's show, I guess, seeing as we're not really doing a Tribal show anymore. Which is...
Well, basically, that will pretty much take us into our first subject of the day, which is just the current state of Gucko Pics Productions.
The current state of Gucko Pics Productions. First things first, everyone, you're watching, you got Twitter, jump on Twitter, at Gucko Pics Gaming. I've named it Gucko Pics Gaming now, so that we know it's actually a gaming network. We're here for gaming and game stuff, and you want to have a stare fest? I'll fucking stare at you. You want to fucking party? Fight me. Fight me.
Sorry, bro.
Mate, you'll never even see me blink.
Look at that. He hasn't blinked yet. That's for sure. But yeah, so it's called Gucko Pics Gaming. Follow us on Twitter at Gucko Pics Gaming. I think next time I do the texts, like the names of people, I'll actually put their Twitter handles under there. I probably should have done that anyway, but I'm too lazy right now. I'll do it next time.
My Twitter's pretty good.
And I'd also like to get a proper background thing, like what T-Force use for their streams and whatever. They have their own little custom-made thingies. I'd like to get something like that as well. So, the half hour...
I can hook us up with that. I'll talk to my bro.
Okay, cool. The half hour with Victor show will run as per normal. No changes happening.
On. So are you saying it runs normally? There is nothing normal about that show.
Yes.
I love it.
It's running as per normal, which is to say...
Okay,
as per usual.
It's running...
I like that better.
No. It's running as per normal, which is to say it is going to continue to run abnormally.
It's running out the door.
Consistently inconsistent. I like it.
Yes, that's how the Victor show runs. Because normally I'll miss a show and then do an hour the next week or something. You know, things happen and you're busy and you miss the Tuesday and you're like, fuck it, I'll just do it next week. That's normally how it. But that show, staying as it is, because that's just the Victor show. You can't really... I'm tempted to say you can't copy the Victor show or anything like that. Not to take a shot at T-Force.
Yeah. Look, I'll just go through basically what's happened very briefly. Basically, if you guys are coming on here for League of Legends stuff, we're going to be a little bit more wide stream, not just League. We'll have Scott on, so he'll probably be talking about Smite. And we've even got some people here that don't even play League, namely the Dumbo over there.
Quite rude.
Get it? Dumbo. Oh, it's funny.
Dumbo could totally be a support, though. Just saying. Playing elephant support, I'd play that.
I'm down.
Yeah, in duo lane with Corky, of course.
You get to ride. His ultimate is you get to ride Dumbo, and then he can Corky Valkyrie over walls, carrying you everywhere.
His auto attack is he slaps you with his ears.
Yeah, I'd be down for that. Bo has played League, so it's not like he knows nothing.
It's just
about
too hard
League.
to play support without an ADC, without a decent ADC.
Well.
That's
how he struggled to get into the game, and then he just kind of, I don't know, played Elder Scrolls Online and Diablo.
Yeah.
Bo plays a lot of fucking games.
Yeah.
I really do.
But yeah, anyway, basically, my podcast is going on hiatus. Victor's officially saying it's probably ended, and it probably has. Basically, another group, T-Force, has started doing something very similar. And it just comes down to, the resources they have, the people they can get on. Honestly, they can do a lot better job than I can. And...
Yeah, so it's good for the community in general. They'll get better content podcasts, and we can actually move it. It pushes us to make a better podcast. So, in this beautiful capitalist world, it makes perfect sense, and it'll drive us to get better things.
The thing is, too, I was really struggling to get guest stars and things like that. Because, I am on my own and things like that, and I'm not that great socially. I was pretty much Twitter stalking people to try and get them on. And, T-Force can do that a lot easier. They've got contact with a lot of people. They're ones behind a paywall, but, if you guys want to have more content that is champion rundowns, go have a look at T-Force's stuff. I personally don't have the money to donate to them, so I haven't listened to one, but I'm pretty sure most of the stuff they put out is pretty decent.
Their first one's free. You can check that out, and I will check it out just to see what they're up to. There's some things they do, and I said on my podcast that, in some ways I'd prefer the Tribal Mind show to some of the things they do. This is just Victor criticism. This isn't me being, stabby at him because, oh, man, we were doing it first or whatever. I don't care that much. I'm kind of a neutral party in this whole fiasco. But there are things about the Tribal show, particularly we didn't run over builds. Not because, we're trying to hog all the information for ourselves or we didn't know builds or anything like that. It was just a simple case of build change all the time. We want to keep them as relevant as possible. But from my perspective also, I think not telling people builds and telling people and giving people more general directions as to where to build, not saying build this item, this item, this item, this item, this item, I think makes people think about what they're actually doing a bit more rather than coming to our podcast, getting all the answers and then just going. Because I don't think people learn anything from just getting all the answers. And that's one thing I really liked about the Tribal Mind show. And if I could give the same sort of, if I could give that kind of criticism to T-Force and their podcast, I'd say don't give them all the answers. Because give them something to think about rather than something to do. If that makes any sense.
There's one thing I learned from my podcast, and this is a shout out I'm saying to T-Force. Good luck discussing the things in vogue right now, because everything in vogue will get changed. The greatest problem I had with my podcast was every time I discussed someone, they either got reworked or changed.
Yeah, I mean, like,
so keeping things relevant.
The Declawed one was a big one, because, like, you talked about Declawed. You talked about Sion on Declawed's show, and you were like, oh yeah, normally you'd be maxing E first, without a doubt. It's so reliable, just chunks them for damage, it's really cheap, and you just spam it at them pretty much, and that's hard to dodge, whatever, blah, 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 blah. E gets super nerfed, W gets nerfed, and now any of the skills are maxable depending on the situation, and that's like...
Yeah.
And that's sort of taken the relevancy away from our podcast, which was like, are you kidding me?
I mean, look at Rise and Ash. Both of them got bloody reworked within like a couple of months of me doing them. It's like, oh.
Yeah, they're two of our podcasts that are completely irrelevant now. Like, completely irrelevant now. You can still listen to the Scion one and get something out of it. You can't get shit out of the Ash and Rise ones now.
What I learned from that podcast is that I'm a big Tribal Mind fan. So I'm glad to be on this podcast with you, having a chat with you, dude. I have a lot of fun chatting to you, so... Yeah, I'm stoked as hell that we're going to persevere and crack on. But, mate, I actually think this is going to be better because it'll give you more of an opportunity to step out and speak like we are now and have a chat about things, whereas before, there's so much you can talk about it with a champion. If we got a little bit off topic, which happens sometimes, it blew out to 1 hour 40. Thank you, Blake.
Yeah, and also I think this one, like this kind of format where it's just very casual, we come, we chat, we're all chums, whatever, we talk about games in general, not just League of Legends, I think it's more relevant to the kind of content my network produces. Because like having the Victor show alongside the Tribal Mind show was kind of weird.
Yeah,
Tribals was very formal, and this is the show. It had some. There was some I was going to say casualties, but I don't think that's a good word to use. We had casualties on the podcast. As unlike the Victor show, we're all a bunch of kishka bitches. Kishka, of course, means pussy in Russian. So
that's good to know.
No, like the Tribal Mind show, it had moments of just being really casual, particularly like the Mod and Blake episode, which to this day is still my favourite one.
I still, actually, to be perfectly honest, my favourite was the first one I did with Mod with the Nivea, because the actual start bit, it's about 2 minutes of chat at the start. That was actually through the entire podcast. I pulled out chunks everywhere and just mashed them all together.
Editing. Oh. I don't think you guys realise how much editing went into that podcast. That was ridiculous. I went on a tangent for like 2.5 hours, and Tribal managed to turn it into a beautiful 1.5 hour podcast that ran so smooth. And I was like, monkey magic, how did you do this shit?
Oh, man.
I can't hear. Can you like laugh loud? Like give me a huzzah or something?
Huzzah!
Yes, alright, let's move it on. That's awesome. You should do it every time.
Yeah, I just have no like word or say in the Tribal Mind stuff, because I only saw it once because of Vic,
but it was the best show you've ever seen in your life, and
well, practically, yeah.
Yeah, no, I understand.
Yeah, better than those ones I had that BMG guy on the Victor show, of course.
What a fag!
I know, right? So, anyone who doesn't know, because I think anyone who's a regular listener is definitely aware who I am, definitely aware who Tribal is, should be aware who Mod is, but maybe not so much. So, Bo, who are you? You're the YouTube guy. You haven't really been around as much. You've been on a couple of Victor shows, but who are you?
He invented YouTube, and then what?
Yeah.
Yeah, well, basically, I invented YouTube, obviously, because, you know...
You're the YouTube guy? And you're a boss.
He's the funding for us.
Yeah, I'm totally funding.
He's the one that makes all our YouTube money.
Yeah. Well, basically,
Scott came online.
I was gonna
any second now.
Anyway, I was
He's
gonna
fuck up my layout
way earlier, but and then I didn't have a good enough computer to do anything, like even play games practically. So I didn't end up joining him then. But now I got a new computer, and I started doing the videos and stuff, and pretty much am the person uploading to the YouTube channel as of now. But I'm sure you guys do it, right? Right.
Yeah,
right.
I'm actually planning. I've got a game called War for the Overworlds that I recently picked up that I might be doing some Let's Plays of once I get off my ass and actually do something. What, War for the Overworld?
Yeah.
It's a Dungeon Keeper remake.
Oh, nice.
If you've ever played the old Dungeon Keeper game.
Yeah, I did.
Yeah. But anyway, yeah.
That's Bo. Mod, really quickly, we sort of know who you are, but who are you?
Guys, I'm officially a member of League of Legends Anonymous. Not the podcast, the actual support group. I love the game, but a little bit too much. And most of all, I love the community. So through League of Legends, I've had the opportunity to meet lots of cool and interesting people with cool stories. So that's why I'm on a podcast like this, so I can chat to you boys about your thing. Off the Rift, I'm an engineer, or a pretengineer. And on the Rift, I'm a top lane Shaco main.
Mm-hmm.
Carry the show for a second, will you, Tribesy?
Okay, well, can I jump in here? Earlier we mentioned we don't actually have a name for the show, and I actually took the time to think about some interesting names, which I would like to pitch, and hopefully you'll say, that's the one, Mod. We'll pay you 20% royalties from now on. Okay, you ready?
Yeah.
Okay, it's Infinity Edge podcast.
All right, I just need to fix up the. I just need to fix up
that's
the.
such a rip-off.
What? No, it's a completely different item. All right.
The Last Whisper.
Ooh.
Oh.
I like that actually.
We should have that in we should have that in the podcast. At the end, we should have one final note, and we'll call it the Last Whisper.
No, what we'll do is...
What about...
Sorry. What I was going to say, what I'll do is when this first one comes out, how I was putting comments at the end of my podcast, what I'll do is, whatever we name this, the actual name of the episode will be The Last Whisper.
I like it. Just a... whatever it is. What about Just Alright Gaming?
That's alright.
I think if Guido hears that, he'll like that. He'll have a bit of a laugh. I've also come up with a very original name, Ostlol Podcast. Yeah? You like that one?
Why are we all?
The Lanes Podcast?
That's it, that's a keeper.
3
Hey,
words podcast.
Oh, I like that. 3 words. No, 5 words, because that's maximum vision. There's 5 words in the game.
Okay.
Or one at Maximum Vision podcast.
What about Pinkward podcast?
Ooh, I like that.
All this is League of Legends based.
True Vision. Okay.
Yeah,
How about this one? Mod Bros, Pros and Hoes.
Okay.
I like that.
We can have pros on,
That's
and
a
we can
segment.
have hoes on.
That's a segment.
Nah, I like that. That's
Yeah, I said we lock that in. Or the Pros and Hoes Modcast.
What?
Yeah, let's just move on.
Yeah.
So yes, we have. We got Ranconius on, haven't we?
Yes.
Yeah, we do.
All right.
What's wrong with ranking his bitches?
Oh no, rank bitches.
Because Rank's rants sounds better than Victor's rants.
Rank, can you just start Audacity or some shit? You're probably gonna have to. You're probably gonna have to edit all this out. By the way, Travel. Make it like
Oh, joy.
stuff.
No. This is like The Last Whisper.
Yeah, but
I like it.
if you
Like it. Add it in.
we didn't have you talking though, Rank. If you weren't recording right now.
Yeah, so it's just like,
pull it off the video.
Rank,
Surely
what are
it's
you
no
doing?
business.
Silence.
We could pull
So
1 minute
you
off
are
OBS.
recording now. You are recording.
You give me a countdown timer, and I'll record so you have a stopwatch if you have anything going. That way you know.
3, 2, 1, begin.
Why, hello there. Ladies and
Okay,
gentlemen,
Scott Rankonius Rankin has joined the show.
a
Yes.
summoner has left the game.
And I've fixed the video as well. In fact, while I'm at
Score.
it, I'm gonna fix my video too.
All right. Well, we had just done intro on Mod and an intro on Dumbo, and everyone knows Victor.
Who the fuck is that guy?
Victor and I, should we actually bother introducing ourselves?
Yes. it's
Hello,
a new
everybody.
podcast.
My name is Victor. I am the owner of this network. It is the greatest network ever, and you should, without
Give
a
us
doubt,
money.
Yes, that was my next point. You should, without a doubt, give me all of your money, not just a little bit, all of it. Especially for this amazing video work I'm doing live on the show. Oh, look at that! See, my camera all fixed now. Look, yeah. How long did that take me to get done? Like
20
You
minutes.
guys
20 minutes.
You guys should pay us for our only broadcast. Our only broadcast is now behind a paywall.
Yep. All Victor content, you have to pay
$200.
minimum every one of your dollars to listen to the show.
You see, this is this brand new idea that's called Pay Us Everything, where for you to listen to any of our work, you have to pay us everything.
What is the name of our show?
Groundbreaking tech.
Well, there's the name of our show, Give Us Your Money Podcast.
I like it.
I don't think people are going to search for that very easily.
I pay money for that.
I'm going to actually pass. You guys can have my share of the money.
Okay,
I'm a
okay.
little bit concerned about the money.
I
Is it
don't
blood
want
money?
I don't want any of the money. Just give me all of the rights to land and property and shit that people are giving us. I'll take that. You guys can keep the money.
Alright, anyway, I'll introduce myself and then we'll let rank go and then we'll go on to our actual topics for this podcast. So, yes, as you probably have realised by now, I am Tribal Mind. I am the host of, or was the host of Tribal Mind's Champion Rundown, which is on hiatus / cancelled. And, yeah, I'm a gamer. I don't really... Yeah, thanks for confusing me by putting stuff on freaking Skype.
Anytime,
Okay.
guys.
You're a gamer?
Yeah, I'm a gamer. Like, I do play League, and I've been playing League a fair bit, but I'm really a strategy gamer, and I've always enjoyed a lot more of the, turn-based strategies, like, yeah, I'm playing through XCOM at the moment, I've got Fire Emblem on the Game Boy, even just the old Age of Empires and that I enjoyed, though they're not actually turn-based. But yeah, I work for Queensland Health, yay, and that's as much as I'm going to talk to about that one. And yeah, I'm a father of two with a wife. Well, yeah, I've got a wife and 2 kids, basically. That's me.
What a family.
So, yeah, basically. So, Scott Rankonius, who be you?
Who the fuck is Scott Rankonius?
Okay, I'm a 23-year-old shoutcaster, team manager, marketing. I do marketing for a tournament running organization known as Does Play. And I'm just a general gaming and esports enthusiast. I got my first hit of shoutcasting in September 2013, and I was hooked from the first time. It was literally, oh look, those guys are doing it. I can have a crack at it. Did it with a mate. We were totally terrible, but we laughed every single minute of it. I applied to a forum I saw 2 days later. I'd never seen this forum before, and as soon as I logged in, they were looking for staff, and I was just like, okay, I'll give it a crack. Rest is history.
Cool, and yeah, you can see the love right there as you spoke about it. You light it up a bit. That was cool.
What?
Yeah, he doesn't enjoy casting, but no, like
Yeah,
I think
that's
it
how
is
I feel when Mod talks too.
Oh.
No, I'm actually going to say, like, casting is a thing of love, and you can actually tell in the people that do it how much they love it. Like, for instance, recently, one of our very own, Riot Atlas.
Oh.
No, Papa Smithy, that's huge news, and we'll talk about that later. But Riot Atlas got interviewed by Good Game TV, And just as he was talking about it, same thing that happened with Scott. As he was talking about the idea of casting and actually commentating a league game, you could see that his face just lit up, and he was just like, he loves what he does. And yeah, Scott, like, yeah, I can totally see you doing that sort of stuff in the future, big time.
For me as well, it sort of started. I used to race. I've raced motocross since I was knee-high to a grasshopper. I was 5 when I raced first, and my parents have run for a period of about 5, 6, 7 years. My parents ran 3 different clubs from an area about, I'm going to say about 200 square kilometers.
I thought you were going to say they ran behind you, pushing you.
Yeah, there was also that. I needed the speed up to get up most of the jumps. So, but yeah, for a period of about 7 years, my family ran 3 different motocross clubs. So obviously, even though I was a 12-year-old teenager when I was just getting into my mid years and whatnot, when they started that up, I've always been surrounded by working very hard volunteer work to try and keep sports clubs, not esports clubs. I had a crack at commentating motocross when I was a lot younger, and I had people racing to the fence for the most boring race of the day. So that's where I got my first sort of kick in it. And as well as that, I attended a lot of Australian titles and whatnot when I was about 8 for motorbikes, and every single time, end of the day, if I was receiving awards, straight on the microphone. It's just something I love.
Love it.
Talking about something that I'm passionate about just rolls off the bat so easy for me.
Yeah, no, I can tell. Awesome.
Yeah.
All right.
Okay.
So
Well, seeing as everyone's sort of gone into a bit of detail, hello, I am Victor Pradley. I have a real name, but you can call me Victor. It's Tim. Tim. It's Keith. The most intimidating name ever. That's why I make everyone call me Victor, because my real name is Keith, which is not very intimidating. As opposed
Hey Keith Urban, how are you today?
I'm doing very good, thank you. I am of an age. I like me some video games. I used to be heavily into fighting games, but normally the way I play games is in, I want to say like, I'll play nothing but one game forever and completely burn myself out on it, and then I'll go play another one. In the beginning, it was a lot of fighting games like Mortal Kombat and yes, I call it a fighting game as well, but Smash Brothers. I was a huge Smash player, and I used to do a bit of competing as well. In the local competitions I went to, my best ever was like 5th place. And then I went again the next year, and I didn't practice at all. Walked in, got kicked out in the first round, and it was kind of a wake-up as, oh, okay, you didn't practice, you're not actually that good. And then I never played Smash Brothers for quite a long time, and recently I'm getting back into it. After Smash Brothers, I started playing shooters. I was big into a game called Resistance 2, because they had this cooperative mode where you get together with about 20 dudes and just shoot the shit out of endless hordes of these Chimera. And I found that heaps of fun, even though the Chimera AI was goddamn awful and it was the most repetitive thing ever. I played it for more than a year, way over a year, just nothing but that game, shooting the shit out of dumb AI. And I got huge kicks out of it, and it's probably why I enjoy dungeons in, like, SWTOR and whatever. And probably why I should enjoy MMOs, but still will only
you're
play...
totally a PvE player.
and will like only play SWTOR. Like that's like the only MMO I've really gotten into. After that, it was Call of Duty. Nothing but Call of Duty. Always Call of Duty. And I shot the shit out of real players and got angry all the time. And I was very, very angry. And I noticed people on the YouTubes making like Call of Duty commentaries, and I was like, I want a piece of that cake. And had no fucking clue how to, and everything after that was just chain after chain of absolute failure. And I wanted to do this thing where I'd do like characters, and one of them happened to be Victor, among many others. I had dudes like Charlie and David. David was a dude who'd sit at the computer, get really angry, and then shout at Charlie in the other room to get off the damn computer. Yeah, well, yes, Bo knows it quite well, because I used to do it in calls with him, and I'd be like, Charlie! Get off the damn computer, Charlie!
You know what's
computer!
You know what's really the best part about that in the fucking camera shit? he's eating pizza.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's just like gamer thing, right?
Pizza's
Just
delicious.
Yeah.
yelling at people in the other room whilst eating pizza. Where's your Mountain Dew?
Yeah, whatever. And I had
7-Up.
another character called Gary. This one's a bit controversial. Gary had a lisp.
Gary.
And he was like, "Hi guys, I'm like Call of Duty Pro, and I don't use primary weapons because I think primary weapons are overpowered. I only use like secondary pistols and shit." So that was a bit goofy. And then there was the legendary Victor Bradley. I would come on and I'd be Victor Bradley, and out of all of them, Victor was the most lovable because Victor wasn't an arsehole back then. Victor was really lovable, really dumb, and just loved playing video games. And like sometimes he'd be like, I don't really get that, man. That's kind of stupid. But now Victor's like, I don't fucking get that shit. It's bullshit. It's total bullshit.
Yeah, when did that happen?
So Victor went through quite a few evolutions, and
Victor went through puberty.
yeah,
Yeah,
probably.
that's
Victor has rage issues since his wife left him.
yes, that too. And then I got into League of Legends, played nothing but League of Legends, and one day typed one day typed League of Legends into iTunes in search of podcasts, found T-Force, through T-Force, found Ozlol, through Ozlol, found Oceanic Battle Arena, played shitloads of Battle Arena, played Alistair top lane one day for no reason, absolutely stomped and was forever immortalized in the Ozlol community. And now I am a host of the Oz LOL podcast, run my own shows as Victor, and it's been a huge success ever since I played Alistair top lane. And that is the story of Victor Bradley, who is now sitting at his computer,
Eating pizza. And dragging out the podcast before we even get into the topic.
Contemplating
about
Alistair top lane and thinking how better to improve his Taric jungle.
Alright.
I
So,
like it.
we've basically got everyone down, and we might, since we're like half an hour into this, we should actually get onto the topics we've got. So, basically the first thing we had down for what we want to discuss this week is gamer's life, or the life of a gamer, from different perspectives. Now, on here we have me, who has 2 young kids. We've got Modbro, who has a newborn. We have Ranconius, who is engaged. And we have Victor and Bo, who I assume are both single.
I got a
Who's not?
girlfriend. Yeah.
Okay, well, there we go. We've got even another one, a girlfriend that isn't quite the level of engagement yet as well, so.
Victor is currently heavily engaged with his pizza.
You want me to get the fucking cantaloupe?
We should hear
I got
from
the
Bo.
cantaloupe in the other room. I'll bring it
I
out.
would like to hear from Bo.
Why would you want to hear from Bo?
Because Bo just said he had a girlfriend and then that was the end of the conversation. How long have you been with her? Has
Nearly
it
2
affected
years
your
now.
gaming? So 2 years. Has it affected your gaming? Does she game?
No, not, well, she kind of games, but like,
Not very well.
basically...
Only
yeah,
because he
no.
games.
Yeah, only because I game, and like sometimes, like, basically the way it started was, I would never play a game whenever she was like at my house or I was at her house or like we were in between or whatever.
Yeah,
But
yeah, that's called the honeymoon
was-
period.
Yeah, but she was like always on her phone, like non-stop Facebook shit. I was
Yep.
just like, well, if you're not going to talk to me, I'll go play a game. So I started
I
playing
like it.
Payday 2 with the other guys because like she didn't talk to me anyway. I was like, well, fuck it. And so now pretty much I just play games and chat to her and stuff. So and she started playing the games with me as well because I wanted her to.
Cool.
And,
have you got one of those headsets where you can like change between voice comms with your friends and your girlfriend if she calls?
No,
I've seen the ad for that, and I was just wondering, does anyone
don't
have
accept
that?
her calls.
I used to,
He's got
actually.
his priorities straight.
I used to. My parents, for a period of time, got used to talking to me on the phone whilst I was swearing at the computer and losing games of League of Legends.
Oh wow.
Well,
Wow,
actually,
it's done.
the swearing...
And now his
actually-
parents don't talk to him. Ho ho ho.
Well, now my parents accept it because they that was actually a really, really unique phase. I'm sure we can discuss that at another time. But yeah, that's
Yeah, I'm cool with that.
Alright.
Way to steal the show from Bo.
No, I'm with you. But Bo, so yep, 2 years. And how about now? She's playing with you, or she lets you play and she plays on Facebook.
It's pretty much that, but she plays with me sometimes. Like we got into Elder Scrolls
While you're
Online.
playing, she plays with you. This is R18. We can go into this. She won't hear this.
Oh, jeez.
If she doesn't play League of Legends, she won't listen to a League of Legends podcast. You're free to go.
Nah, she doesn't. But that'd be nice. But no.
Go
I
on.
can see your face there.
Go
Yeah.
on.
Because we started getting into Elder Scrolls Online, because she likes Elder Scrolls, like, if any game, she likes that, because, I don't know, so it's one of those games, like, kind of anyone can like it, it's, like, immersive and crap.
Yeah,
She's
you
done-
right into
so
build
for
your
me.
whole character. It's like Dungeons and Dragons, but with visuals.
Yeah, pretty much.
Yeah, no, I get that. I'm not really into it. I don't have that sort of time, but it's fun to be into it.
Yeah.
Cool. Victor,
Hello.
you get to do what you want when you want.
Pretty much, kind of. I mean, I go in and out of having girlfriends, kind of. My most recent girlfriend was a lovely lady named Tash, who was the most submissive woman I have ever met.
Edit that out.
Okay, she doesn't listen.
Just edit it in there and then have, like, a word saying, wonderful.
Yeah.
Blah.
Wonderful person
And,
I've met.
Yeah.
Please overdub it.
My relationship with her was very much, I'll just do a thing, and she'll be like, oh, okay, yeah, and I'll be like, all right, Tash, I'm going to do this, what do you want to do? And she's like, oh, you can do that, that's fine. I'm like, I'm asking you for a reason, goddammit. And, I remember, and basically, I could tell her to do something, and she'd do it. I could tell her, hey, go online and buy me a bunch of sex toys, and she probably would have done it. She was that kind of person, which isn't bad, but not really what I'm looking for. And so now I'm single. I've spoken to a lot of girls since then.
We can edit all this out. If she listens to this, this could hurt her feelings, dude.
She doesn't care.
Okay, cool.
She really doesn't care.
Okay,
Yeah,
cool.
you've not met Tash. Well, you have.
I
You have
have.
met Tash, but I don't think you
Yeah,
know
that's
Tash as well as I knew Tash. I
totally
taught her how to play League because she was at uni learning to be a game dev.
Oh,
I did not know that.
And she was super into games, and I introduced her to League of Legends, taught her how to play. The first
And now
moment,
she does nothing but play League.
kind of. I mean, she's normally
you
on
ever-
Steam or something. I mean,
She's
Have
always
you ever
on Steam.
considered maybe she was studying you?
I guess. I mean, she's studying the life of a gamer.
Yeah?
Well,
Maybe. It's not a bad idea.
importantly, does she play Alistair top and Tarek jungle?
No. She
Well, then you
plays...
taught her wrong.
Well,
Sort of.
no. See, the way I teach people how to play League of Legends is I tell them to open the client, I say, go to the shop. And they go to the shop, and I say, open the champion tab. They open the champion tab, and I say, scroll down till you see a champion you like. And they do. And I say, which champion do you like? And Tash
Yeah,
said...
he did this for me.
And Tash said Sivir, and I bought her Sivir. And then she learned how to play Sivir. And that's how I taught her how to play the game. I taught Bo the same way. I taught Ben and Brad... Well, I didn't teach Brad how to play, but I taught Ben a very similar way.
Pause there. Bo, how did it work for you? Did that work well? Is that a good way to teach
It was
someone?
pretty awful. I got fizz, but yeah.
So you picked
a little
the
bit
highest
fishy.
skill chap. Yeah.
I
Well,
like that. It's fishy. But I was gonna go mid, but then I didn't go mid, and then I went support, and I liked Lulu, so I went with Lulu, and he bought me Lulu, so it was like a trade-in thing.
Cool.
That's cute. I like you guys already.
yeah. Currently, now that I'm single, I mean, like I said, I talk to girls, and I was talking to one for a little bit who is into League, but she is naked. But she hasn't said anything to me in a while, so I'm guessing that ship sailed. Ripping pepperonis, Victor and Alice. Not going to happen. But right now, 'cause I've been unemployed for a little while. I mean, I'm on the way. Yeah, Scott knows. I'm on the way. I'm on the way to another job very soon, hopefully. I eat pizza. And now, at the moment, it's a situation of I only have time to do whatever I want, and so I play video games because that's all I really know how to do.
And
Sometimes,
you make content like this, like
yeah, I mean, it's opened up how much time I have to play games and make videos and podcasts, and still I fail to get a Victor episode out every week with every week in succession, I guess. So
And
That's
yet he harps on me so often if I'm a little bit late with my one.
because I'm the boss, okay? I can do what I want. We'll go just to the right of me. We'll take it a step up. I mean, we started from Bo, who has a girlfriend. We should have started with me, who was single, then moved up to Bo, who has a girlfriend. We'll move up to. We'll move one step. We'll move one step higher from Bo, and we'll talk to Scott, who has a fiance and still lives with Blackjack.
Yes. I actually only moved in with him in December, so.
Yeah.
So. And that's another interesting. Yeah. Anyway, there's interesting stories surrounding gaming and my life.
Go for it.
So basically, what happened? I moved to university, and that's where I met Jess. 4 weeks into university, we got together for the first time, and with the exception of 1 week, about 6 months after
you need
that.
to hold up for 1 second. What does together mean?
As in
That's a good
dating.
point.
We started dating
Oh, okay. Alright, yeah.
4 weeks after we met.
Wow. I'm with you, Bo. I know what you're saying.
Put some music in there.
Can she hear you, right? Can she hear you? Look behind you.
I like.
Yeah,
I didn't say it.
I'll tell you if she comes.
I don't think you'd be the only one that'll be able to tell if that happens. Anyway, basically, my first year of university, I was studying chemistry, and from ever since I can remember at high school, as soon as I started doing science, science is my thing. I click with it, and I pick it up like that. I spent the first year of university bored out of my brains because I wasn't learning anything. Everything I did in first year university content I'd already done, and I still remembered. It was just a matter of walk in, yep, I can do that question, write that question out, make sure I remember the method, done it. So that was my entire first year of university. And I was looking for a hobby to fill. I had NBN, I had, unlimited downloads, and I was just like, well, this is the first time in my life that this has ever happened. I also come from a background where I was heavily internet deprived as a kid. Up until I turned 17, my mother had to sit beside me whilst I was actually doing assignments for year 11, year 12, and whatnot. So, would not let me access the internet without that sort of thing.
See, Tribal and I were internetly challenged as we were young, but it was actually because the internet itself was shit. So, Tribal and I had the whole...
grew up with dial-up.
Even so did I. My family are not the most technologically advanced. I will say that. My mom started using internet. Like I said previously in the show, we managed 3 motocross clubs for 7 years. Internet banking was available and easily accessible and secure for about 5 of those. And my mom just started using internet banking, and that was about 10 years ago that we were in those clubs. She started using internet banking around January.
Wow.
So...
Solid effort.
And she's Amish, you say?
Amish is the term.
I don't know how to say it. I just read it off Weird Al
maybe
song.
she has AIM issues as well. I don't really know. I don't ask
Living in
them.
an Amish paradise.
But, so obviously I was in an environment where I had access to the internet that I'd never really had before. So I experimented with gaming and sort of picking up stuff that was free and cheap. Again, uni student budget. League of Legends crossed my mind because a few other friends at college had a crack at Dota in the past, but I was just like, Dota's $10. I don't have $10 to string between two sets.
I thought Dota was free. Dota was $10.
It wasn't at that stage. It wasn't at that stage. Dota's now become free. Yeah.
Yeah, I remember they used to have the little codes, and everyone used to get those and hand them around to get the free ones. Yeah.
Yeah,
That's
but
how I got
they were only trial codes. And
Yeah.
spectate. It's like you could log on and spectate a game, but you could play like 5 games and then you had to buy it.
Oh, wow.
But
Wow.
it's
I didn't know that.
spectate.
I didn't
any
get
game
through 5 games.
So, neither did I. I just knew what they were. Anyway, so I tried League of Legends, got hooked, and just like I literally would sun up to sundown. It got to a point where I was actually failing classes for not turning up to lectures. That was the only reason I was failing. So,
Ouch.
because I literally sun up to sundown. I went from 0 to level 30 in 4 weeks. First starting playing the game, shit like that. I was so hooked. I loved it. I loved the community. I loved interacting. I loved pretending to be the champions in the game. I do enjoy a little bit of roleplay myself, so I really, really love that sort of thing. And
D&D on.
from there.
Yeah.
I have source books for the old World of Darkness, World of Apocalypse. I could run a game. I have crap tons of source books for that.
We could do it after the podcast. Not on
Oh
the
yeah,
podcast.
certainly not now.
That would take forever. That's the world's longest podcast.
Hey dude, I listen to podcasts, so there's
6.
literally people playing them.
Super fun.
Yeah, there's a Call of Cthulhu one. I quite enjoy it.
Welcome to the Paint Drying Network, where you can listen to
Anywho,
each
continue,
stroke.
Scott.
From there, yeah. It was just a lot of fun for me, and it was just natural for, throughout my entire life. The next step up was to volunteer and boost something around. I'd thrown around the idea of running tournaments in the past.
Yep.
And never really come to anything. Come across a forum known as GG and literally, I met a guy in a game. He was like, yeah, come join the forum. We all play League. Join the TeamSpeak, join the forum. The next day they put out that they were looking for shoutcasters, among other stuff. Kicked off there. I met Lucifer in January of 2014. No. I got trialed with Oceanic Gaming for their $10,000 prize tournament in December of 2013.
Yep.
And that introduced me to Lucifer. I thought, hey, I've made it back then, and that was next to nothing. That was just expanding beyond GG I tuned into a stream of North American Go for Lols. They were looking for... That's the only time they've ever said on their streams that they were looking for more casters. Ever. Joined that, and that took me around.
There.
And I was chatting to so many different people. Since then, I've been a team manager. I've tried to start up my own esports organization, which did work successfully, actually, for a little bit of time before we were like, hey, we can actually pool resources with another smaller org, and we sort of merged into them. And then that's had me work for Avant-Garde and now Immunity, so...
So, as a question, since this is on the subject of like gaming life as we are, what's your fiance like in terms of like, does she game it all herself? Yeah, no. Does she game it all herself, or like, what's her opinion of your efforts? Like, does she see this as a job for you, or?
With the way things are actually heading for me currently, which I can't really speak about much further than that, we both sort of realised that this is going to turn into a job for me, which I'm very privileged to be in. But back in the past, she said, because I actually went through a long period of depression issues as well. I literally quit university. I was forced to try and look for jobs. I couldn't look for jobs. Suddenly, I'd gone from being such a confident and outgoing person into I had no confidence, no self-confidence, no ability to get out there and chat about this sort of stuff. And gaming was all I had. So she realized that. She couldn't initially when I was going through depression and whatnot. She didn't understand it, but through time we've sort of both expanded and grown closer to it. It's actually made us grow a lot closer to each other, which is fantastic. I couldn't imagine life without her now. And she's grown to understand that gaming's a part of me. It's just who I am. It's my way of releasing myself from, obviously who I am in the real world and just becoming whoever the hell I want online. And she accepts that. She plays, like you said, Bo, as well. She's heavily into Skyrim. And not the Elder Scrolls prior to Skyrim, but
it's kind of hard to get into those. They look a bit weird, and usually, if you're not into games, you need to have something that doesn't look crap.
Yeah. That led to us building computers together. I will eventually be getting her into Elder Scrolls Online as well, because she wants to really try that. She loved the beta of it, so. But she understands, she sits around, she supports it, she loves listening to me commentate now as well. That's awesome. Except for when I'm giving her a headache because she sits beside me. But that doesn't happen anymore. Like, initially when I started commentating, I would just literally shout as loud as I could down the microphone, and that's something I had to learn. It was the volume control, and now that I've learnt that, we can tolerate. And she loves to sit next to me and listen to it. So,
That's
I guess that's the meaning of shoutcasting.
It's a thing. It's a thing that's brought our relationship a lot closer together, I think.
I will say it sounds like you've bagged yourself a winner there, mate. So that's pretty awesome.
Yeah, she sounds tops.
Sounds like it looks like you're blushing. That's awesome, dude.
She's just
good to hear.
Yeah.
She's your rock. It's funny that you call someone a rock and then they keep you afloat, because to me they sort of go The opposite.
Yeah, that's the opposite.
It's
Yeah.
okay. It's okay. She's such a pretty. She's actually a siren and a mermaid. So by being my rock, she drags me down so I can live with her.
Oh, that's
Oh.
perfect. Oh, you big
I like
romantic.
that. That's good. Yeah.
Jeez, can we do a graphic with a big heart around him right now? Are we able to do that? Do we have the
She heard that.
capacity?
Okay, she heard that. What did you say, Gorgeous? What was your response?
Oh, gorgeous. Brownie points all round. Guys,
I'm a
take
mermaid.
notes,
She
take
wants to
notes.
know if I'm calling her a mermaid. So, yeah, there you go.
That's awesome.
I need to
dude.
take tips from this guy. This guy.
I know, I do too.
Yeah, maybe Kalara will actually like you.
I know, right?
I'm soft. I'm honest to a T, and I'm soft and nice to everyone. So,
I mean, in fairness, Bo, you did buy her a pug the other day.
Yeah, I just buy
Oh.
her stuff, and
Are
then
you
that makes her
serious?
do.
How did you not start with that? We could have had this whole podcast and just
Not a
taken
legit
photo
dog.
of
It was just
video.
a plush.
Oh, thank God. I was going to say, if I haven't seen that pug yet, something's gone wrong.
I guess we should move on to Modbro then.
Yeah,
So,
we
what's
Married?
gaming life for you, my friend?
about
it's
3
The
games
Sims,
a week.
right? Your life is like The Sims now.
I like to get the female Sims and make them bake stuff for me. Delicious treats. No, I've never played The Sims. I did have a girlfriend once that played The Sims and named a family after us, and it really freaked me out.
That's
But,
pretty creepy.
It is pretty creepy. But then, about 3 weeks later, I saw her with another family, and the boy's name was her ex-boyfriend, so I thought that was a bit different. So, anyways, I'm a new dad. Well, 9 months, but I was a new dad a little while ago, and I've got a beautiful little girl, as I said, 9-month-old. Just taken off now, walking and talking. Dad's a favourite word, so that's good. I've got a beautiful wife that's very supportive, and she actually, before this podcast, I was writing a song, and she actually came in, listened to the song, and told me what she thought, what to edit and whatnot, so that was cool. I work a full-time job at engineering, doing inspections and whatnot, and I'm at the moment studying as well to try and further that career. Well, it won't get me any further, but it'll make me look more official. Yeah, but I realised that what I was doing was I was basically being hard on my wife, and I was getting up in the morning at 5 in the morning to play LOL, or staying up to 2 in the morning to play LOL, then having 3 hours sleep and driving to a mine site to work. So these sort of things don't add up to a healthy lifestyle. So
No.
what I decided to do was I talked to a few friends that also wanted to improve, and we got together a ranked team. So now I play on Wednesday nights pretty much only, and we will play 3 games as a team. We'll talk about what we did right, talk about what we did wrong, and then we'll actually record them, and someone analyzes them and sends us notes on what we did wrong and how to improve. Take turns doing that. But yeah, I basically play 3-4 games a week, and the rest of the time I'm just on Twitter tweeting at people, enjoying the community, because I fucking love the LoL community. I travel a lot for a living, and if I bothered my wife as much as I bother you guys, then she probably would leave me. But the fact is, I've got you guys to tweet at and say, hey, I just heard this on a podcast, or I heard this, and people tweet back at me, and it's just a beautiful community to keep you going and sort of keep it together. Yeah, so that's basically me in a Pokeball. See, I know stuff.
Gotta catch 'em all, Modbromon.
So basically, you don't get much time to actually game, but you do get a lot of time to sort of communicate
Yeah.
with the community and things like that.
Yeah. When I do get to game, like, obviously if I work really hard through the week and get all my studies out of the way, this is only new, by the way. I used to play and screw up my studies. But now if I work and study hard, I'll come home and my wife will be like, hey, you've actually done really well. How about you play some games and I'll knit or sew or watch TV or whatever. So
Gaming has replaced your sex life.
No, not at all.
Do tell.
Oh, really? Really?
The
Details.
Modbro treatment to the Modbro.
Okay.
No, because like I
Don't ask him to
figure
actually will.
you know, you'd come home and your wife's
Yeah,
like,
it's
you
true.
know what, Mod Bro, you've been working really hard. Let's go have some you and me
Bang.
time. You know,
Ding.
I put the girl to bed early.
Bang.
Let's do it. But instead, she comes home
Bang.
and she's like, "Hi, Mod. I'm just gonna watch some TV. You've done great. You've earned a game of LOL. I'm gonna go
Only
to bed
one.
early."
I can say for a fact that does happen sometimes, but no, we've got a very healthy relationship, so I'll just say that. That's good.
Uh-huh.
See how
Guess
mature
not.
I was there? See how mature I was? Because she can hear me, and she can't see what I'm doing. Like,
You're gonna get checked
guys,
up.
why are you laughing? I'm saying sincere and loving things.
Yeah. She treats me really good, she does.
How dare you, sir? That
I feel like we need a woman on this show to balance everything out.
We might have to, but it's
I
gonna
don't
be...
think so. I think it'll just make it worse.
Victor put on the dress.
Nah. So,
I got a couple wigs.
I guess, does that bring it on to me then? Or...
It does bring it on to you.
Okay, so Tribal Mind, tell us about your life. Where are you at? What have you been through? How's your gaming developed over all these years? And then talk about a podcast.
Well, basically, I'm 28, so excusing Mod, I think I'm the oldest one here. As I said, excusing Mod.
How old is?
Yeah. Now, I'm a father of 2 kids. I've got a 6-year-old and a 3-year-old. And, yeah, I have to sort of try and juggle home time, the wife, the kids, and gaming. And I don't always do it perfectly. Like, sometimes I will game for a long time when I shouldn't be and things like that. And generally that tends to get the wife pissed at me, or the kids will come and hound me because I haven't played with them for like 4 hours. But, it is hard to find a balance, and I'm actually more separate from Rank and Mod in that I'm not actually that social. So I actually use my gaming to avoid social interaction rather than to actually engage in it.
Just so you know, you're on this podcast with me. I promise you, within 6 months, not only will I drag you out of that shell, but I'm going to smash that shell up and sort of put it on a deep fryer and just push it down and make some prawn chips out of it.
I'll hold you to that.
Invite me. I'll take that. I'll take those prawn chips.
Yeah.
You need to understand, Mod. I am a natural introvert. I do
Man,
extroverted
I'm an
things.
extrovert. We're
I
gonna
enjoy
meet in the
things.
middle.
But
We're going to
yeah,
be in the middle.
but I mean,
And
like,
that's amazing. Like, this is right. For me, okay. Sorry to cut you off, Tribal
You're
Mind.
right.
But this is actually something that I've gone through with depression. Like I said, I lost all self-confidence. And I went from being hugely extroverted, very much up myself as well. I was very cocky, extremely cocky, wouldn't you?
You're a fucking show pony.
I'm serious. I was really bad. And
Can you bring
all of a
her
sudden,
I agree.
they
She
wanna-
should be on the
they
show.
wanna-
She's
I
sick.
let her sit down for a sec. I want to talk to her for a
they're
second.
happy. They're
It's
happy.
all
Come
right.
over
It's all
here.
right. It's all
Come
right.
over here.
It's all right.
She's moving
He's
her
a
chair that I
fucking
found on the
show
street for her
pony.
because we're poor.
Oh,
Chair.
It is. It's comfy. It was a really good find.
Nice dressing
how
gown.
you doing?
That's Mod Bro. He says hi.
Hello.
Hey, so that's your angel, is it?
greetings.
Yeah, this is my lovely. This is Jess.
Hey,
She's
Jess.
22.
And I'm eating ice cream in my pajamas, so excuse me.
That's awesome.
Nice dressing
If
gown.
we
She got
could
home.
have been
I
like,
don't know. These saps are not in their pajamas.
I'm wearing,
I-
I'm wearing a fucking coat.
I just woke up. Okay, give me a second to process things. But yeah, I snapped from being majorly extroverted and extremely up myself to
A turtle.
the turn.
yeah.
So how
I-
was
I
it
got
to
up.
change?
And I sat at the computer, and if people did, I literally sat at the computer, logged into League, and stared at League and Facebook all day for about 8 months. And if people didn't invite me to games, I sat there and that's all I did.
Oh, you didn't start a game. You were just waiting.
No,
for
I waited for people to invite me.
Oh, that's
Oh
weird.
wow. Oh. Poor
It
guy.
literally, I had no confidence. If
When was
people,
I would have played a game with you, dude? I'm sorry.
this is before I started casting. This is actually
Oh, okay, so
casting
this
was right as I come out of it.
Oh, okay.
It was really tough for me actually. Because and it's still the case now, if people don't chat to me for a couple of days, my mind just naturally starts to go, what's wrong? What have I done to offend them? What have I done? Oh, and it even comes through in business relationships that gaming is almost into a business for me. They're not actually business relationships in the term that I'm earning from them. They're business relationships in the term that I treat them with a certain respect. and
They're,
love
they're,
it
a
or not.
they're a
It's your
professional
network.
engagement, not a social
Yeah.
engagement. Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. I'm very social still with the people on the other end of those business relations because that's how I like to treat them. That's my natural response. But if I haven't chatted to them, if they haven't responded, and it's come across, I'm probably going to talk about Immunity and whatnot a lot in this podcast and series and whatnot. Tony, who's the owner of Immunity, started as a Counter-Strike player himself. He is the most into gaming, wants to support everyone, is an absolutely fantastic guy I've ever met in esports. He is just amazing. And immediately my first response after meeting him and not hearing from him for a couple of weeks was,
Avoiding me.
and that's purely because he actually does Steel Series stuff, he does Immunity stuff.
Yeah, he's
he
super
talks a lot
busy.
He is intensely busy. He got an hour's sleep, I think, on Wednesday night because he was dealing with Counter-Strike stuff, League of Legends stuff, Steel Series stuff. He literally got an hour's sleep in and around his family life and whatnot as well because he's trying to do so much to further the scene.
Okay, I'm going to jump in here. So
This is
when you're doing stuff like this and you've had these feelings, like this is only recently, isn't it? This is this Wednesday, and like even now you're saying you still get those feelings. So how do you deal with it when you get those feelings where you're like,
I just have to push
what
through.
do?
I don't get a choice.
You
I
push
just
through. You
I have
rationalize it. You go,
don't rational. Half the time, I don't rationalize it. I have dealt with business relationships in the past, where I have responded extremely defensively and emotionally and unlike myself, purely because I'm scared. I'm on the back foot for no
Yep.
reason whatsoever.
you lash out. Yeah.
Anyway, Tribal Mind, you were.
Yeah, I was
Sorry,
gonna
man.
say,
Yeah,
like,
Travel's
Tribal
on
Mind's got this grin on his face. He's like, I don't have to talk anymore.
I'm
I wanna-
really,
Yeah,
sorry.
Can we put Jess on just for a quick second? Just for a very quick second.
Oh, hold on. Is the mic on?
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah, we can hear
it's
ya.
on.
This is good.
Hi.
Jess, hi.
Yes.
How are you? Lovely to meet you.
I'm
I'm
alright.
Bro. We're going to be stealing rank for like an hour a week for the next couple of weeks.
Yep.
But in between that hour to the start of the next hour, so you know the entire week minus an hour, we need you to just give him all the love you can because he's an absolute legend and we love him to bits. All right?
Yeah, okay.
Do special things for him and give him chocolate ice cream. Okay.
I don't need to give him that. He goes and helps himself to that.
Okay. All right.
Wondering what
No,
that's being
thanks-
said.
Thanks
This is
very much.
hilarious.
Nice to meet you, Jess.
Oh, it's lovely to meet you too. I'll catch you later.
See you later.
Oh, you be paranoid.
Nice girl, that Jess. She washed a bunch of cars for me.
Yeah,
All
We
right.
said
Well,
nice things. That's all right. Man.
I wouldn't be here if it wasn't for that woman. So
Yeah, man. She seems like an absolute peach. So
Yeah.
that's awesome.
I watched,
Sorry,
I
Trump.
watched her wash cars. She's pretty good.
Yeah. So the interesting thing actually with that is I'm almost the exact opposite of you, Scott. If I was as socially engaged as you are, I would be going as mad as you did when you weren't.
Yeah, no, I've
I
heard
actually
about
have.
this.
I actually have the exact opposite problem of if I get too social with people, if I push myself to be like Mod Bro is, if I do that for about a week, I get so burnt out, I just will not talk to, will not interact to, will not be able to handle anyone for a time period. So like, I push myself to do things like this podcast and that because I want to do something and I'd like to interact, but I also need to make sure I limit it. Otherwise, it actually ends up backfiring on my family and kids because I don't want to interact with anyone.
Yeah, no,
So-
I actually read a big thing on that recently. I didn't know it actually existed. So my wife handed it to me because apparently I chase people that are introverts. And you must love me,
come hang out, do it. Yeah, see.
Yeah.
I,
So, I mean, the point is, oddly enough, even though that, you know, I don't know about the rest of the guys here, but I've gone through something very similar to you, Rank. It was when I was somewhat younger, but again, I'm also somewhat older than you, so it probably would have been around the same age. And I fully understand that. Like, you actually have more support than I had at the time, and, you know, yeah.
It's rough. Yeah, I know.
And you're bloody lucky to have had a fiance there. Like, I mean, truthfully, like, I went through it a second time, and I did have support then. I had my wife, well, she was my fiancée, or I don't even think she was my fiancée at that point, but, you know, and she helped. She actually pretty much slapped me in the face and told me to go out and get some help to fix myself. So,
Yeah, I've heard stories about, and I've gotten quite the impression of Tribal's wife. I think she's a very intimidating woman.
When she wants to be. When she wants to be. The interesting thing is, she's very stubborn, but it's
I
fun.
hear the whisper there. That's nice. Like, she's stubborn, guys.
Oh, no. She'll admit it as
very-
well, but... Yeah. It's fun. Like, you know, when I first basically expressed I wanted to go out with her, I was trying to be as blatant as I could, explaining that I liked her. And I spent about half an hour talking in circles, and she just didn't get it. And she kind of said to me that, like, you know, she just doesn't understand these things. You'd have to hit her over the head. So I literally stood up. I literally stood up, lightly whacked her over the back of the head, and just went, I like you.
Oh, that is smooth as hell. Holy shit, player.
But, like, that was years ago now. Like, God, it's almost 10?
Do we call this show now the Esports Lovers plus Victor?
Oh,
No,
wow.
we're just
Scott,
establishing character.
I'm a
Plus,
player,
I
you
don't
know
know
that.
much about you guys, so, like,
Yeah.
on this, that's cool.
But yeah, like, I mean, nowadays, you know, gaming is my escape from things, and it always has been. I mean, the weird thing is, even though gaming is my escape, it's not actually a relaxation for me, because I play games and I play them strategically. Like, it doesn't matter whether I'm playing Civilization or Age of Empires or XCOM. Like, every game I enjoy is something that I sit there and have to plan out everything, or I'm going to F up horribly.
And he gets stressed, and then he swears at me, and then I have to say, yeah, I know that feeling. And then I get angry because I'm also playing, but in a different game. And when I rage loud, and when Tribal rages, he swears a couple times.
Yes, I do get a little bit aggro, and I'll admit that. And most of the time, that issue is because I've had a long day at work, I've come home, and I'm like, I kind of want to relax, but the only game I can play is a game that's going to stress me out. Joy.
Let's do it.
You need to get some
I think-
solo
I think
player
we-
board games.
I think what you need to do in that circumstance is grab 4 people and just go, how am I going to play Shaco's support?
Well, see,
And
that'll
have
get
4
you
people
through.
talk about Shaco's support and only Shaco's support whilst they play the rest of the map.
Yeah, no, just pick a champion and play it out of the role, and just don't care about winning or losing. Just have
see,
fun.
I'd like to do that, but
I do that
I
all
don't
the time.
actually. When I'm on and when I want to play, no one else seems to ever be on, and that's half my issue. Like, I only get to play maybe during the week 2 to 3 games, on the weekend 2 to 3 games. I mean, particularly of League. You know, anything else I can actually pause so I can play it for a bit more. But, I'm still a geek, you know. I don't just play games. I watch anime. I watch anime. That takes up quite a lot of time. But then, I've still got to interact with my kids. I've still got to look after the house. I've still got a full-time job. And I've got an hour and a half practically each way transports to said job. So, I don't have a large amount of time. And, I don't know. It's hard to find a balance, and sometimes I get it very wrong. And I've had the same issue as sort of Victor says of becoming obsessed with a game. Only mine is like, I get the game, you don't see me for 2 weeks. And that doesn't really work when I've got a wife and kids because, they kind of don't see me for 2 weeks. And the wife sort of ends up coming to me after the first week going, get the F off the game, get up, like, talk to your kids, interact with me, like, move.
I don't want to go too personal, but when that happens, do you find that when you play with the kids, it's a lot less playing with the kids, or do you
Enjoyable.
find that you can actually break from it and just play with the kids, no problem? Like, does it affect you when you're in that mode?
I can break out of it from that. Like, if I'm playing with the kids, I'll engage with the kids. My issue is more that I have never, like, until I've had kids, I've never actually interacted with kids. So I have a little trouble just knowing what to do with even my own kids. Like, I'm learning, and most of the time it's just roughhousing nowadays because, you know, their concept of games are still rather, oh, I've got a game, I'm going to play with this toy and you watch me.
That's
It's a
awesome.
sick game.
That was my favorite game growing up.
But, you know,
Who needs Mortal Kombat and stuff like that?
Yeah.
Just watch your kids play with toys.
Yeah, but no, like, it's
An adult toy.
Mod.
Yeah, hey.
Mod's, for the audio listeners, Mod's holding up a, it's a cork opener.
Keep
whatever.
playing with it. I'm watching.
Yeah.
Why did you stop?
Yeah.
I'm sorry, look, it's okay, it's back. It's back.
Hey, look, it's a standard stream style. Standard
Yeah, as a
structure.
segue from you, Tribal, I actually was going to mention this because it's about gaming lifestyle as well. And your one brought it up perfectly for you know, changing of lifestyles and stuff, because, you know, yours is like you go into the games to, like, you know, kind of like escape the real world and not socialize and stuff like that. That's what you kind of said, yeah? Yeah, and for me and Vic, because I know me and Vic have this, because we've talked about this, but we have similar views. We actually play games and we, you know, use the internet and stuff to socialize, like, to, you know, make friends and all that stuff. But, like, the way we have it is, basically, if we still didn't play games, honestly, we probably wouldn't still be friends from now. Like, it's hard to say that, but it probably would have happened. We'd play games, and that's how we
in year 7, which is a number of years ago, and we went all the way through high school together, even when our college was shut down due to millions of dollars in debt.
What was it, 14 million?
Like something like crazy like that, and then
You've been robbing their banks, mate.
Yeah, and then we went to
And now they're professional payday players.
yeah.
Victor was taking courses, but he wasn't. He was actually taking them.
Yeah, and I'm pretty sure.
This is my course.
I'm pretty sure, like, me and Bo became friends off chance. Now, we took the same bus to school together because he used to only live around the corner from me, and since then he's had, like, 20 different places he's lived at. And now, I'm a lot like Tribal in terms of introvertedness. Some people probably don't notice that because in public I'm very jokey and happy and but
You're good at playing a character.
Yes,
Absolutely.
let's go with that. I can talk about that later if we want, but I'm going to.
He's always been like that, though. Like, even when we were in year 7, is the most time when he did that, because obviously in year 7 was the first time he was at my school, because you know, most of us were there beforehand, and then year 7's like the big, everyone comes in to this school because it's, you know, it's a good
there are new
secondary
people
school.
now because they had a primary school on campus, and Bo went
So is anyone
through
going
the
to say
primary
that's
school.
like a defense mechanism, or
Yes,
is that a way? Yeah, that's cool.
but going back
Yeah,
to
he had this thing where he was just very like open, like, but I could see it was fake, because obviously me and Ned, one of our old friends, you know, we knew him before he knew anybody else, and we knew that well, at least I knew. Ned didn't actually know, but I knew. I was like, well, this isn't actually what he's like, because he was a bit crazy when he you know, was trying to talk to, like, the random people, I'm going to say, like the people he's not friends with, and yeah, so he like went a bit crazy, a bit spazzy, and I was like, man, that is not you.
yeah, for real, I was the weird dude at school, very much so. When I met Bo, the only reason me and Bo ever connected in any way was because him and Ned were talking about Family Guy, and I just said, "Oh, I have seasons 3 to 6," because I'm pretty sure only about 6 seasons are out at that point. And Bo was like,
I think it was,
"Oh yeah,
it was 5, wasn't it? I'm pretty sure it was 5.
I don't know." And Bo was like, "Oh yeah, you're cool," or some shit like that.
Yeah, then we just started talking about, like, different scenes and stuff, and then,
Yeah.
pissed ourselves laughing, and then that was it. We just did that for, like, a week.
Like, Bo's group didn't like me too much because of that whole being weird thing. But me and Bo had the advantage of we were on the bus together.
Yeah.
And so we we talked to each other on the way to school, and we talked to each other on the way home. That was basically my relationship with Bo. And then when it come to school time, I had to go hang out by myself because Bo's friends didn't like me, and it wasn't worth me hanging around Bo.
You came hang out sometimes. It was just like, it's no good being around my friends when they didn't dislike you. Some of them liked you, but there were a couple
mentality,
that really, really disliked him. Like, there were like, I think it was 2 or 3 that were just like really against him, and it completely took out, like, if it was like 10 people that liked him, then these 3 was just like, like, didn't like him enough, that he could even, like, hang out with us, because they'd just be so aggressive, really, if there's any way I could say that. Like, they were aggressive towards him.
A couple times I think I almost got into fights with, like, Kingston and Tom, and I'm not a fighter. I've never been in a fight in my life. I would probably get the absolute shite kicked out of me. For those of you at home, I'm under 5'10". I think I'm about 5'9" or something like that.
Shorter than me, and you are the skinniest little kid that I've ever seen.
Excuse me. I am the strongest, most powerful Russian man on the planet. You show some goddamn respect.
Russian may you be.
For those watching, the camera's a little bit skew. For those listening, I'm massive. Like, that's what you should be saying, Victor. You can cover yourself. The ones watching, the camera's like, what is it, widescreen or something? Squished in.
Which is weird, because I've got what's called Pasela genes. There you go, everyone. You know my surname now. And Pasela genes are 6 foot tall giants. Like, everyone in my family is big and built. Scott's met my dad. My dad is the biggest fucking person I've ever met.
Speaking of amusing genes, this isn't actually my family name, it's like a distant back family name. I have Armstrong genes. Guess what that gives me? Massive freaking thighs.
Space hemorrhoids? Oh, okay, yeah.
I thought you were going to say something else.
Strong arms, alright.
No, thighs, not arms.
Strong monkey's second set of arms,
Massive fucking testicles. That's why they call me Cheese Wagon.
Anyway, sorry, Vic.
So, and then me and Bo, we hooked up on, like, Steam and stuff when Steam became a thing. Actually,
it was probably from COD even. No,
yeah, but see, the thing about that was I was on PlayStation and you were on Xbox, and that was all like PS3, Xbox 360 wars times.
Yeah, but we had those like gatherings where you came over and we play COD, and then I'd go to your house and we'd play Resistance 2.
Wait. Did you guys ever have that moment where you go to the other one's house and you just be like, the controller configuration? It's just fucking back. You're wrong, man. Your console is fucking retarded, right?
We did.
Literally every time.
Every time I used, because on COD, the triggers and the bumpers are flipped around.
Opposite. It's so confusing.
I don't know why.
Which
what
is
the
weird.
hell?
And
I
think about it now, and the triggers make more sense to be the buttons that shoot. But the way they feel, to me, that's where the grenade's got to be, man. Like, the bumpers have to be like bang, 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 bang.
That's the different style of the controllers, right? The PlayStation controller, the triggers on them don't feel like triggers. The Xbox ones do feel like triggers, right?
Yeah.
So,
that's why. If there were anything I'd say about a PlayStation controller, it's that their joysticks are 10 times better than an Xbox. Because when I went to his house, I was like, my god, these joysticks are beautiful.
One thing I liked
you're
about
saying a PlayStation brings extra joy.
One thing I did like about the Xbox controller was the PlayStation controller you had to hold a bit like this, because this is where the joysticks were. Xbox, you held it like that. And this is a bit more comfortable than this. But I had a GameCube, you held that thing like this. And that is the most comfortable controller you will ever hold. As fucking ridiculous as it looks, I think I've got one in the room.
Smash Brothers Melee.
I think I've got one in the room because I'm going to the Smash tourney tomorrow. This fucking controller...
Wasn't that tonight?
Tomorrow as well, all weekend.
Oh, yeah.
Because these are the main buttons you use, and that's the main joystick you use, and that is comfortable. That just sits in your fucking hand. PlayStation, you're using it down here and shit, it's annoying. I don't like it. There's my controller rant.
Shout out to Battle Arena Melbourne 7.
Yeah. Eventually I moved to the PC gaming world. Instead of consoles, and that's probably where me and Bo really hit it off.
Yeah.
I mean, I was already going to his house, and we were going to get like chips or whatever because we knew a chick at the chip joint, and she gave us free chips, and that was pretty amazing.
And
then,
chips.
and then she
I
hooked
bet
up.
she felt
And then she
pretty
hooked up with a
chipper.
dumb. And then she hooked up with a dumbass, got hit,
Oh,
and then
wait.
went back to him, and then we stopped liking her.
Vic, you
Yeah.
need to show them the kick that he gave me.
What kid?
Remember the kick that I forgot his name, whatever. Show us the
Solomon,
kick.
yeah. It
Yeah.
was like Rose standing there, and he was like, "The bird!" He just like this weird sort of like
It
scrape
was like
the
this
back
really weird wonky kick because like it was like some fight thing where he like hit her or something, and I was like, oh, it's not on. But I'm not a fighter, the same as him. Like I've never been in a fight either, and I wouldn't because I'm such a lovable guy. I'm Dumbo, so like I've never been in a fight, and like I wasn't gonna hit him. I was just gonna like be like, like the fuck, man, you messed up, you're broken, and
come and kicked
he gave
Bo
me
on
this
like
kick.
the side of the thigh, and
It was really confusing. I was sitting there like in shock, like
Oh, like a Muay Thai
was
thigh
that a
kick.
legit kick?
No, it was like, I mean, it would have counted for like a point in a Muay Thai fight, but it was just like hit Bo like this, and it was.
It was like as stupid as the Wii Fit trainer on Smash's Basic Attack, where they do the catch foot. It's like it was as dumb as that, and I was just like, my god. And then like another day later, he was like, oh my god, yeah, I'll beat you up again. And I'm like, honestly, I cannot even feel where you kicked me.
Yeah,
Good times.
that guy was
Who
a
throws a
fucking douche, and that's when we stopped liking her. Is that she actually went? Well, he came to her and she took him back, and we were like, seriously, like that's not on. Like
Yeah.
if the dude's hitting you around, like that's just stupid, and we stopped talking to her after that.
Violence against women. Australia says no.
Yeah.
Violence,
Totally not.
Occasionally.
violence,
Only on weekends.
violence in general. I say no. Yeah, and
Oh,
we went to
yeah.
PC Gaming, and that's where me and Bo started. Like, especially when Skype came out. I mean, Skype is like the greatest thing ever that isn't that good. And me and Bo would just chat on Skype, and he would come here a lot, and he would drive me around. And then Bo moved to Melton, and then he couldn't do that anymore, and it was really sad. But I have another friend named Ben, and Ben I met a few years after I met Bo because he showed up late. He come from the other side of Melbourne, and Ben moved up to Rosebud, which is pretty far north of Melbourne, I'm pretty sure. And so I pretty much lost all connection with Ben face to face, and our relationship became Skype and League of Legends and Zombies or whatever the hell we were playing.
And even on that, it was like, I always liked Ben. Like, we always had this, like, mutual agreement that, we could probably be friends, but then your group, I really didn't like your group, but, a couple of people. No naming, but there were a couple of people.
You can
that I
say
was like,
Michael or Rose.
That's right, his name's not Michael anymore.
Sorry, Lily LaRose.
Yeah, and then, like, and the girls and stuff were just kind of, like, a bit...
The
bit
girls, I didn't really like being around the girls that much. Caitlin was.
They were like.
Caitlin was super opinionated. Bronte was kind of a know-it-all, but also like Ash would always like go to Bronte to back him up, and that really fucked me off quite a lot. And the thing I really stopped liking Bronte about was when Michael became Lily. Bronte was the one getting offended on Michael's behalf when we accidentally called him Michael, and that used to piss me off because Michael didn't really care, and I can call him Michael now, and he doesn't care. But if you say it in front of Bronte, it's Lily.
Yeah.
And I'm like, for
so
fuck's sake,
I didn't really
like,
like
and like she really pissed me off. Emily was really nice. I really liked Emily, and
Emily was-
also I didn't like Michael that much. Because he was a real know-it-all, and if you didn't know as much about computers as him, you weren't really fit to be his friend. And that was really the problems I had with Michael, but Ash I got along pretty well with. I think Bo found him a bit weird, though.
Well, he was alright for a while, but then this times when I'm like, but then when we went laser tag, that was fun. Yeah, so like...
Shall we
me
draw
and-
this talk back out of, like, school life stuff? Because
Yeah, I was just about
Yeah.
to bring it back. That's what I was trying to do. This kid just keeps talking. So we were, what's it? So Ben, we weren't really that friends. But then when we moved to the new school when the other one closed down or whatever, we still weren't friends, but I started playing League with Vic, and then Ben also started playing, and then that's when we became, like, friends. And then the same with Brad, you know, we were like, you know...
Well, Brad, like, all of us, it really happened with, like, I was already sort of getting along with Ben, and then when the whole school change thing happened, like, we were the 4 people who knew each other and got along, and so we just trended to hanging out with each other. Not so much Brad, because Brad got a girlfriend. But Ben became, but, you know, like, we played LOL and...
Yeah, became, like, the foursome, you know, like, we used to be, like, I was kind of by myself, like, kind of sort of with Vic, and then Vic was kind of with Ben, and I was somewhat with Brad, and it was, like, really weird. But then, like, when we got into League, it was, like, League kind of did a lot for our friendship and, like, really made us, like a team of, like, buddies. So, yeah, that's, like, that's my view on the whole, you know, everyone always says, you know, they're like, oh, gamers are such, you know...
Antisocial, you know, just you behind a computer and...
Yeah, and like, for me it's like, we have you know, life experiences where that is the exact opposite.
Yeah, and when Ben turned 18, we never got to see Ben ever again, but we've been able to hold that relationship with Ben because of video games.
And social media and stuff like that, like all these sorts of things, they're all good for friendships and things like that.
That's sort of what it comes down to, like... Whether you're a gamer or whether you're not a gamer, whether you're social or not social, it depends on how you use the systems you have. Because, as I said, like, I'm not social. I don't use games to be social. That doesn't mean you can't use games to be social. You know, the people that are saying, like, people get lost in their games and never socialise, that's me, and I'm happy with that. You know?
Yeah, especially if you've got a full life, like you've got kids and you've got all that. It's like, you know, it's an escape. It's, you know, it's like an alternate universe. You know, practically.
Well, I mean, like as an example, like my family, they call me about once every 4 months to check I'm still living, or like it's a birthday or something. Like, you know,
we don't sometimes they do like both at the same time. They're like, "Happy birthday!" And
by the way, are you alive?
Yeah. Yeah.
And I mean, it was worse when I was single because, you know, they literally didn't hear a thing from me, whereas at least now that I've got a wife, like, they can actually call her if they can't get me. But, you know, it's... The way you want to be a gamer and the way people are a gamer is entirely around who they are. It's not around the game. It's not around, you know, what sort of game they're interested in or, you know, how much time they spend on it. You're going to engage in a game the same way you're going to engage everywhere else. If you are withdrawn and don't socialise normally, you're going to be withdrawn and you're not going to socialise in games. If you're an extrovert, you're out there and you love chatting to people, you're going to do that. If you've got a few mates and you just want to catch up with your mates, that's what you're going to end up doing. And that's the big thing, like, gaming is the same as everything else. You know, I really get irritated when I hear people going, oh, you're a gamer, like, argh. It's like, do you even know what a fucking gamer is? Like, can you even classify that anymore? You know, Candy Crush is a game, come on.
Yeah. and people socialize through Facebook by sending each other Candy Crush requests, and that's some people's way of sending them the mother call to say, hey, are you still alive? You sent me a Candy Crush request today, but you didn't send me one yesterday. Are you okay? Is everything okay? Oh, yeah, I just haven't had time for Candy Crush today. That starts conversations, you know? It's simple, it's tiny, but me and my mother had a relationship like that for a little bit of time as well.
You know how funny my... Because I played those Facebook games sometimes, but this goes to show how much of an introvert I was. I was too scared to send people invites to those games.
I still don't. It's really annoying. I just find it annoying when I get one. I'm like, oh.
Well, because for me, like, they show up in my... Because, like, I didn't go on Facebook for quite a long time, and then I turned it on, I was like, oh my god, I have notifications, people care about me, and I opened it up, and it was a wall of, like, Candy Crush invites, and it crushed me straight away. I was like, no one cares about me, and I just closed it all down, and I was so upset.
I mean, honestly, a true example of me being an introvert... If someone messages me on Skype or on Facebook, I freak out going, what the fuck's that noise? Because I don't even bloody recognise. I'm like, the hell's that noise? Where's that coming from? And I started searching through my system trying to figure out what's making this stupid beep.
Yeah. Well, so I get excited when it's like if I get a text message or I get a Skype thing. Like if I know I've sent someone a message earlier that day or something like that, it's like, oh yeah, they're just responding to me. But if I didn't talk to anyone at all that day and I got a message and it was like Bo saying hi or some chick I'm talking to be like, yeah, what's up? I'm like, oh my god, people are talking to me. This is crazy. Because normally I'm the one who's chasing after people and trying to start conversations, and it was always a frustration I had that no one was approaching me ever, and it used to frustrate me quite a lot, which was a really pleasant surprise when I had my first encounters with Scott. Because my first encounter with Scott was he was on Oslo and I was in the chat making a bit of a goof of myself, and Scott sort of thought I was being a bit of a character, but he didn't. He took me seriously at that first moment, and then he worked it. I was like, oh yeah, he's a character because I told him like I'm just fucking with you or whatever. And then I jump in the game. Well, I'm in the game. Scott's added me, and then when I've logged in, Scott was sending a message like, "Hey Vic, what's up?" I'm like, "Hello?" Like, why is this Oslo host talking to me? This is so weird.
It's like, who are you and what are you doing?
Yeah,
because you're an interesting character. You were somebody I wanted to continue conversing with. I am a big one for
Tony streams. I love the way, like most people when they stream, they sort of sit there and they'll be just staring like I do, like this, just staring straight.
All I see is a blob. But okay.
You see a blob, yeah.
Okay, he
But no, but Rank will actually watch the Twitch chat, and he's so fast on replies. So he'll be talking fluently to someone on camera, and you'll see him responding to you in text. And I'm like, he hasn't even looked away from the camera, the bastard.
I mounted my camera specifically to do that. Like, if this was a Twitch podcast, I would have my camera I would be facing this way. Because I keep all of my stuff on my stuff that I want to activate at a moment's notice on my second monitor, and stuff that I'm watching on my main monitor.
That's a good idea.
Yeah.
I want to get a second monitor, especially for this OBS, because it's like in this little corner of the screen that doesn't have anything, like any screen capture stuff all over, because OBS mumbo jumbo, and
yeah,
it's just like this one spot. So I'm like, I need a second monitor, but I need a bigger desk first. We were talking about getting a big desk for this room and whatever, and currently it's a wheelie table that I don't really. It's really small. And
do you want a hand rebuilding your computer too? I can. If you ever want.
What's wrong with my computer? Have you seen my computer? It's a fucking look at this thing. It's huge. That's my computer.
You just got a new computer.
It's huge.
It's a window frame.
It's got a window in it. I call it Michael.
Good name.
The
Isn't
Archangel.
it Lily?
I was about to say the Archangel.
Lily?
Yeah, Lily the Archangel. Sorry. Sorry, Bronte.
Sorry.
All right,
I'm not happy with your attitude about this.
I think we've done some good real time.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Stuff that's...
We've gone for about an hour 33. I think you were shooting a bit far with how many topics you had lined up.
How many did we get?
But I think the third one's related.
Yeah.
Is it? What's the third one?
The third one is just interesting news, and I just figured we'd all probably have something that might be interesting and people might want to know about. So
No, we've only got one thing to go from here. It's Friday night, and on Monday, OPL starts. It's the most relevant thing. We need to talk about it quickly.
Okay, it's Friday. OPL starts on Monday. There, we talked about it. Done.
That's horrible. No,
Slam dunk.
because
Is the first game Community versus Avant-Garde?
its first game is Chiefs versus Sin Gaming.
Ooh, that'll be a good matchup. And Immunity versus Avant-Garde's on the same night, I'm pretty sure.
Yeah,
So there's
7 p.m. Yeah.
That's going to be some intense games to start us off, especially, I can tell you guys straight up, the Immunity roster has gone through so many shuffles, and none of those, due to the way they have to be registered, they won't be complete until week 2 either.
Did we find out who the ADC is going to be yet? Because I've been hassling Steve for a while now.
It's probably
say?
safe to say. It's probably safe to say at this point because they have scrimmed with so many people. It's Denian.
Oh yeah, I was sort of guessing that. I saw him.
It will be
post,
safe to say because this won't come out for another week. So by the time this comes out, he'll already be in with it.
It's 2 days. It's not worth dying over.
That's perfect because that means I can do my official draft of OPL teams.
Good for you.
And week 2 we'll have a new jungler as well.
Very cool.
Zahe
guys.
is stepping in, so.
Guys,
Oh,
I
really?
need to steal it for a second. Okay, so
Zahi's gone. Where's Zahi gone?
He just has different priorities and whatnot at the moment, so.
Fucking Australian
Happened a
League
while
of
ago,
Legends
that.
competitive shit. No one can do what they want to do.
Yeah, you were saying, Mod?
yes, so recently on Twitter, I auctioned myself off as a fan, and I said I couldn't decide which team to vouch for, so I auctioned myself off, and I said, listen, give me retweets, favourites, and responses, and bid for me, and I got a few bids, and then I also went off activity with the crowd, because the good thing about OCE Esports is it's so small at the moment that I can literally tweet anyone, and they'll usually tweet you back within the day and say, hey, this is how I feel or whatever. So at the moment, I'm choosing between Chiefs. Can you see that?
Yep.
Mm-hmm.
Direwolves
Yep.
and Legacy. All right, because
I'm in
I know.
Direwolves camp, so...
you're in
I'd
Direwolves.
go Direwolves camp just because it looks cool.
It does look very cool.
Direwolves are the number 2 team. Chiefs are the number 1 team. Legacy are the number 3 team. Immunity are the number 4 team.
I don't like those rankings. I really don't. I
As
have
of-
inside intel, and I
as
really
of-
don't.
As of last split, Chiefs are 1, Direwolves are 2, Legacy are 3. Immunity.
You know what they say? First is the worst, second is the best.
That's
He
true.
makes a good point.
Fucking high schoolers.
That's the truth. But the
I've been in high school for years, Scott. Fuck you.
the teams all have their strengths, and what I'd advise, we'll link it in the show notes, but there's actually a post about how to choose your own team. So somebody's actually taken the time to actually go through. If you go to oclolesports.com, choose your team. You can actually go through and it'll show you all the teams, what they're famous for, what their strengths are, what their weaknesses are, and you can actually have a bit of an informed decision. All right, so
Just don't listen to them when they say Immunity has a lot of Twitter banter. That was like once or twice. It's so rare and so far between a writer just like, yeah, Immunity does Twitter banter. Okay.
yeah,
Good job.
that was a bit of a hard call, but I do have a bit of a speech for announcing it. You guys might not know this, but I consider myself a bit of a loner and tend to think of myself as a one-man wolf pack. But when OPL brought me Chuffer, I knew he was one of my own, and my wolf pack, it grew by 1. So there were 2 of us. I, alone, first in the pack.
Let's see. Remove
Then Chuffer
this
joined in later.
person from the group.
When OPL
Call with
introduced me
this.
to you
Oh, there we
guys,
go. End call with this person. Boink.
I thought, wait a second, could it be? And now I know for sure. I just added 4 more guys to my wolf pack. 6 of us, wolves, running through the desert together at Luna Park, looking for strippers and CS.
Yes.
In case you didn't get that, was a Hangover reference. So I just love that dude. I'm planning on rocking that bag when I go to Luna Park. Go Direwolves!
I want to see you do a Chuffer cosplay now.
No, I want to wear the beard from the guy with the Hangover, Alan. Have the little knapsack and walk around, being the wolf pack.
Are you bringing your child to OPL?
I want to, but I couldn't get a ticket. They sold out so fast. I got someone to buy them for me. I only got one. I know. But
Why
anyways,
can't kids
so-
enter free?
yeah, I know it sucks. But also it's a drinking event, so I'm going to be pissed. So it's probably not the best environment for it.
Okay.
Yeah.
But no, so I'm happy with that. I just wanted to get that off my chest.
So you're all about the Direwolves.
I am, mate.
So
They're the
we're
most,
we're a
interactive. They've done
Direwolves
2 interviews
supporting
for us,
podcast
so-
then apparently, except for Steve, who's a Steve. You're not Steve, are you, Scott?
Franco.
Hi, I'm Steve.
You are Steve. Except for Scott,
Hey, I'm
who
Steve.
is
I will help you with your business today.
Scott has to support immunity, and I support myself. Please give me
And
all
for
of
not-
your money, and thank you very much for listening to the Gucko Pics Gaming podcast.
Yeah, we better end it.
Pros,
This has
pros
gone
and cons.
way long.
And I would suggest we do 3-hour podcasts, but Tribal's wife would not allow it. I don't even think Modbro's wife would allow it.
Yeah, no, she's fine with it.
Hey, there's 3 of
I ain't
us.
got
We
no
can all
time
do
for
it.
3 hours.
We could we could take shifts. Me and Bo are on first. And then
Given,
Yeah, do
given
like
the
half-hour
times and
shifts.
things like that, I could
Yeah.
actually do decently long podcasts because she's actually in bed. The kids are actually in bed. There's nothing pressuring me to be up at 4 a.m. tomorrow morning. So today is actually good for me to record. It's not like I have a 5 a.m. start in the morning or anything like that. So I can sort of get away with long podcasts
Okay.
now.
So,
Well,
Vic,
I wanna.
let's keep podcasting for the next 2 hours. Yeah,
You want it? I'm happy to keep going for the next billion hours. I will
what
never
if
stop.
what if we just ended here and then started our second podcast right now?
That's not a terrible idea.
What? So we can get a bunch lined up.
Yeah, we'll stack them
We don't
up.
Don't have to do them for a couple
Guys,
of
we're
weeks.
done till December.
We'll
Good
meet.
job.
We'll meet once a month just to record like 4 episodes.
Well, I've still got,
And
like,
we can just like predict
And they'll be
what's
like,
gonna happen.
"Oh my
and
god,
make up.
look, it's like continuation. The lighting was exactly the same at the end of the last podcast, and it kicks off with the next one. They're in exactly the same clothes, set up in exactly the same manner, and look, Frank's even lounging the same way he was at the end of the last one. Whoa, mind blown.
Whoa!
Continuity
The
these
5th
guys.
episode is weird. Why does Victor have no hair?
Tune in next week for the second half of Mitchell's direwolf speech.
Oh man.
Well, this has been fun, guys, and I'm going to have some fun editing. So,
edit
I
out
would
that
prefer
whole
not
story.
have this. I might edit some of that because that was a little bit long running, but it's more that no one has a clue who you're talking about.
Exactly.
Even we don't have a clue who you were talking about.
So, don't be babies.
I
The
understood it.
Ben stuff was relevant. The rest of
Yeah.
it was, I don't even know.
That's alright.
Yeah,
mate,
it's just
we trust your tribal. You're the best editor I've ever met. Keep
yeah,
on
you
it.
edit me.
Check
I was
video
under-
versions for completely unedited, especially the part where Scott appeared out of nowhere and wasn't recording.
And it confused the hell out of everyone ever.
Yeah, and you can see Mod's amazing little. Are they laminated?
No, I just printed it off at the office computer. It's pretty awesome, but it probably cost them about $5. But but anyways, I'd like to do a little announcement.
Mhm.
Okay, it's now
You're
May.
pregnant.
At the end of June / the start of July, I'll be starting a lifestyle challenge. Okay, so if you're interested in losing a bit of weight and actually doing it as a bit of a LOL group or a esports group, tweet me at @ost_modbro or follow the links that I'm sure Tribal will handily link at the end of the podcast. And we'll get a bit of a list going and have a bit of a challenge, and there'll be some RP awards for their most weight lost and whatnot. All right, so
Make sure you're going by percentage weight loss.
yeah, no,
not
of course,
amounts,
of course. We're gamers, so there could be people coming in with 150 kilos to lose. That's all right, but no. So if you're interested, hit me up on Twitter. I'll be announcing it on Twitter as well and taking a list down. So yeah, that's enough for me.
This is effectively what's going to be my stuff. So, yeah, as always, tweet me at tribalmind1 or email me at tribalmind1@gmail.com.
You can find me at Victor Pradley, just my name, at Victor Pradley. You can also follow the entire network at Gucko Pics Productions, and they're the Twitters for Scott, Mod, and Tribal will be there. Bo does not have a Twitter.
Bo's getting a Twitter.
Yeah, I could probably use your Twitter in the meantime but not your Twitter.
Not
The
mine.
group Twitter.
Yeah, that's not a bad idea.
If you want to contact BMG, don't.
I don't know how you would. Nah, yeah. Comment
You're
on a
getting
video.
Twitter. You're getting a Twitter.
You can
You're
tweet.
getting a Twitter.
You can tweet at the channel, which I regulate all the time, and I've given them all login details. I don't think they've really been on it though. Because why?
I don't have Twitter.
We have the
Get
login.
Twitter.
I can BM the fuck out of everyone from the Gucko Pics production Twitter.
Yes.
Yeah,
That's why I made it. That's why I made it. Yeah, if you want to tweet at that or at me, I'll pass on a message. And now, feel free to tweet me, tell BMG to get a Twitter, and I will just make one for him as a placeholder. And you can tweet at that, and no one will respond to you because it's completely unused.
Yeah.
You know
That
the one
sounds
thing I
ideal.
missed from Twitter? Do you remember way back when at the start of Oslol, there was way too strong?
Yeah, that was fun.
I don't remember way. I only
So many puns.
showed up in the Panabianco era.
Just think, at least DeClaude, T-Force Network, he's taken puns to a whole new level. It's not just cheap name puns anymore. He's taken it to the next level. So I would have DeClaude over Way Too Strong any day of the week. However, it was a nice
all those
cheesy
way
line.
Twitters were hilarious.
Yes, they were.
And there was way Twitters, and I think a bunch of us also did Smurf accounts.
Yeah, I was one of those.
I think I've got way too fanboy somewhere.
Way too many ways.
Yeah.
I'm pretty sure Way was... I hear stories from Carrot, but I hear he was getting a bit aggressive, and they sort of said, mate...
He's still in the scene now.
Is he?
I follow him. No, not. He's in the esports scene. He's in the collegiate
He's still
scene.
around, but he's not
That's in the scene. He's doing more productively than I am. I just sit here and tell everyone they're awesome and I love you guys. So that's cool.
And
So
you started
I'll,
a podcast out of that, so...
well, I did click record, so I'm going to count that as I started it.
All right, let's call it here. So,
Earth.
Yep.
Fire.
Whoops.
Fire Emblem Awakening.
Good game, that one. And you can hear
Here's
us
the
talk...
ring on this
Great game.
one. I needed to steal it from my fiancée. Win.
And you can hear us talk about Fire Emblem next week. Same bat place, same bat channel, right up your arse. Thank you for watching. Goodbye.
Where do we go?
Thanks for listening, guys. Catch you next time.
Here? Where do we go from here? T-Force 1 and the rundown's done, and I wipe away my tears. Where do we go from here? Why is my voice so clear? 'Cause I bought all this gear, the camera brand and a new mic stand, and I live in poverty. Tell me, where do we go from here? Let me just quell your fear, and I'll make something clear. We're not done, I'm just poking fun. We're a happy family. Tell me, where do we go from here? Where do we go from here? I'll probably get